Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the co-owner and creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the dismissive avoidant attachment style and empathy. So this is going to be a more succinct video, a little long form video, as opposed to a clip that I took from yesterday, because I really wanted to pull this out and just explain it in a little bit more detail and talk about why dismissive avoidants can struggle not to experience empathy, but to express empathy to others. Because this is something I've talked about with many, many people over the years who are dismissive avoidant and tried to understand their experience from the inside out. And the patterns and the answers tend to be quite succinct. And I think it's an important topic. This is not me in a video saying, be with a dismissive avoidant who doesn't express empathy. This is me saying, here's something you can understand if this is a family member, a loved one, a friend, somebody who's in your life, who is going to be in your life for long periods of time, and you're trying to better connect with them, understand them, and also so much of what human connection and healthy interdependence is it's us learning to understand somebody else's language in the way that they experience emotion, give love, receive love. And then we can see them as a human being, and then we can say, hey, look, I appreciate that you have your language, but I would love for you to try to speak my language too so that we can connect better. And sometimes we have to learn other people's frameworks of thinking and utilizing emotions so we can communicate what we need from them instead of them just using the same framework that they always have been. And this can ultimately strengthen and improve our relationships dramatically. So before I dive into this, we're still doing a sale to support our community right now. The coupon code is with you, all one word. We're doing 4 live webinars a week starting in July. 2 of them are open Q&A just for me to answer your questions. We do video format questions inside of the school, 30 courses, over 100 previously recorded webinars, tons of material and information on everything from attachment styles to money mastery, abundance mindset, creating a vision for your life, regulating your emotions, setting boundaries, learning how to forgive, and the actual steps to rebuilding trust and forgiving. We have so many different courses and things in there that are really meant to help people understand themselves and improve any area of their life that they're stuck on. So and we have a beautiful community in there too of wonderful people. Thank you to everybody who's there and supportive of one another. So let's talk about this topic. So dismissive avoidance and empathy. So number one, dismissive avoidance often experience a lot of internal empathy for people. They internalize their feelings around empathy. And part of the reason they try to withdraw or not connect over empathy or not express empathy to other people is that they actually feel that the expression of their emotion in any form is weakness and defectiveness, right? Because those are their conditioned programs and patterns. That's what they've experienced. And so for them to outwardly express empathy actually often triggers a core belief of something's wrong with me or I am defective. And this can be really painful for a dismissive avoidant. And that's why they can sort of pull back. And oftentimes they'll see, I've seen historically a lot of dismissive avoidance in couple sessions where they're showing up, they're being present. You can tell they want to empathize, but they're trying to sort of hold themselves back at the same time. And it's because of these competing subconscious associations that are built into the mind that go, I want to connect, but I feel weak and ashamed, and I don't want to take that on at the same time. And so they have this sort of freeze in the middle, no man's land kind of response where it's between two parts because of those subconsciously competing associations. Now, another thing that happens a lot with fearful or with dismissive avoidance is that they can often intellectualize feelings instead of actually feel them. And this is one of their coping mechanisms, but it's something so important to overcome because intellectualization is actually something that can prevent us from truly feeling and processing through our emotions. And one of the beliefs that the dismissive avoidant has to overcome in themselves on their path to becoming secure and on their path to expressing empathy and having healthy energetic exchanges of emotion is the belief that something is wrong with emotions themselves. A lot of dismissive avoidants carry this core belief that says emotions are bad. Me expressing emotions would be bad. It's not appropriate to have emotions. I'm weak if I have emotions. All these components are in there. So they actually have these beliefs that the expression of myself is bad, right? And they also have this conditioned belief because of their experiences that say, everybody is responsible for their own feelings because that's what they were taught. That was their conditioning. And so what often happens is if somebody is expressing emotions, they can feel kind of confused, oh, why are they giving this to me? That's theirs. And it can actually be from a place of innocence a lot of the time. And sometimes they can show up not so great in those moments, of course. And I'm definitely here to say, a healthy relationship is about giving empathy and being present with each other and showing up and having healthy interdependency. But that has to be communicated. Like if you're in a relationship, or you're in a marriage, or you're in a friendship or familial relationship where you're not gonna, you see your family member every day, have these conversations. Say, hey, you know what? You're not expressing empathy in a way that feels good for me. This is what I need you to do. And what happens, and what's so important to recognize, is that dismissive avoidants often don't realize, because they have an internal emotional experience, that they're not expressing in a way that's being received. So it is so important when you're trying to get somebody to communicate in your language to say, hey, this is what I would love. Okay, this is, I would love for you to express empathy to me by seeing my feelings, hearing my feelings, just being very present, asking me more about what I'm experiencing, and then asking me if there's anything I need. And this would be the way that I receive empathy, because they're having an empathetic experience. It's just in their own way, in their own language, and through their own programming in that framework. And sometimes too, they can be afraid of shared responsibility of emotions, because shared responsibility of emotions is another really vulnerable thing. Okay. So what dismissive ones have to do is they have to learn that there's empathy that needs to be communicated in a different language than they're used to, that's more externalized instead of internalized. They have to work through those belief programs saying shared responsibility of emotions is scary and bad. They have to practice receiving empathy themselves. If you notice, they often cut themselves off from receiving empathy, and we can't give what we don't have. And they also cut themselves off from receiving empathy from self. And so if they are not working on empathizing with themselves, humanizing themselves by feeling their own feelings and making space for them, it's difficult for them to think that that's something healthy for others, because they think we're not supposed to feel our emotions. So part of those reprogramming components for the beliefs we talked about, the defectiveness, the I am weak, my emotions are weak, it's unsafe to receive, it's unsafe to share emotions, those things need to be reprogrammed and tweaked. And they also need to practice learning that other people have a different experience and language around empathy itself. So these are some key components for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. If you're getting a lot of value out of this channel, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.